Bhagwatam 135. Definitely we're dealing with saga here. And the first verse is Jagrihe Purusham Rupam. What's happening? Let's do a small recap because we have one newcomer, so let's be quite class. 131. Jagrihe Purusham Rupam. So what is the we are dealing with saga. Remember, it's a continuation of the previous chapter, especially the end of the previous chapter. So
uh, we see how the Purusha, the there's the description of the roles of the three Purusha.
Yes.
And how they create both the total cosmos and individual universes, and how they expand in universal form and create the 16 material ingredients in order for Lord Brahma to perform Visarga.
Very good. That's a nice point of detail, important detail. So remember, 1 to 23 is quite extremely revealing in this realm of creation. Whichever form of the Lord you see, there's millions of, there's only Anantarup. Krishna's Anantarup. So remember 1 to 23 is a very, very important verse. Iyasya Date. So the Lord, He accepts to play. Just like you are an actor, you accept to play such role. 6 months down the line, 2 years, you will be playing another role. So this third chapter is an answer to one of the 6 questions of the sages. Which question is that? Remember the sages in the first chapter, they had asked 6 questions.
Is it the fourth one?
Not the first question, but the question is Lila Avatar, remember?
Is that not regarding the Krishna's in relation with the creation of material?
Yes, there's 2 questions. Very good. Question 4 and 5, you look it up. One is dealing with the Lila avatars, the sages.
Yeah.
Please tell us in detail. And also, you're right, the Purusha avatar. So, at the end of the previous chapter, it was mentioned that the Lord was absorbed in various Lila avatars. What kind of pastimes are these? What kind of avatars are these? Basically, Purusha avatar. Some people say Acharya said, well, the Purusha avatar are also Lila avatar because, they play the part, they have Lila in the material world. So Vishwanath tends to mix the two, which is not a big point actually. So Purusham, if you look at 131, look at the Sanskrit, Jagrihi Purusham Rupam. What's the meaning of Purusham?
He maintains the planet's witnesses and consents and maintains.
Yes. Purusha means man. Purusha means man, or that is something defined as a Purush. So we could speculate by saying, well, if the Lord accepts this form, date means to accept 1 to 23, it means that form didn't exist before. You may, if I tell you, well, I'm going to accept this, some people may misconstrue by saying, well, it means it didn't exist before. So in order to defeat this argument, Sutta Goswami writes Sambhutam. Can you see in 131? Sambhutam Sutta Shakala. Sambhutam means what? Samyak Bhutam. When you say Sankirtan, what's the meaning of Sankirtan? Samyak Kirtan. Samyak means together.
Together.
So Sambhutam, same. Samyak Bhutam means it's always there. It's continuously existing. Don't think this form are, even though Krishna accepts to play the part of the Purush avatar, don't think those forms were not there before. They are always situated within his Swarup. His Swarup Shakti. Krishna is endowed with his Swarup Shakti, which is the highest truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi. So he accepts to play the form of the Purush, but this form of the Purush eternally exists for creating the universes. Eternally. So he accepts to play the form which already exists. So this is the point, very important to understand. And here we find out in 131 that he has this desire, the Lord has a desire. Why does he want to again create? What do you think? He desires to create, just like a man wants to have a child. He follows and he turns to his wife. So here, Krishna, or more precisely, the Purush means man, the masculine energy. He has a desire for creating the worlds. Why? What do you think?
To give the condition so the chance for reformation and returning back to Godhead.
Yes. So this is an act of compassion. And you have to remember, there is no need for the Lord to get involved, but he does it out of compassion, collectively, individually, and it's going. We are hearing here in 131 Sudha Shakalam, the Mahatattva. Pradhan is transformed in Mahatattva. Then the Ahankar we discussed the other day. Ahankar. We need to be endowed with a false ego. If you want to go deep in the water, you cannot go in your frame, in your physical present frame. You're going to die. You have to go deep down 50, 60 meters, 100 meters. I used to dive as a young man. I remember going 70 meters down. You need an equipment. You need 1, 2 bottles of air. Otherwise, you're going to die. So we cannot function in this world as a pure soul, because we're not pure soul. So we need an equipment which is called ahankar, false ego. And not only that, 16 elements. Vishwanath is extremely poetic. He says it's like a full moon with 16 digits. So I'm just doing a small recap. So this Lord, basically, I sent you today the chart. Can you see my chart now on the screen? What can you see?
No problem. It's blank.
What do you see on the screen?
It's blank.
Oh, okay. So let me do it again. It's really weird. It's like my chair. Okay, let me do it here. Okay. Share. That's okay. That's not what I want to show you. What about this? Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. So please study this chart quite carefully, even at your leisure time. As Swayam Roop, when we say Satyam Param Dhimahi, this is the Nandanandan Krishna, Yashodanandan Krishna. This is the supreme absolute truth. Yes.
The top part is being hidden by.
Can you see now?
I don't think you're showing the page from Subodhini. Is that one you want?
No, I'm showing another page now. Swayam Roop.
So that is not on the
Oh,
screen.
sorry. Okay, so how to do that? I need to take a course in computer.
An option to share your entire screen, Prabhu. So once you stop sharing, you can choose. So you'll have to first stop sharing, and then you'll have to click on share screen or desktop.
Well, let me start from scratch. Share. Okay, I go here, share, and I want to show this one. Can you see this one?
No, Prabhu. So when you're sharing, are you getting options like desktop or screen? So there's different options for sharing.
I want to show the Swayam Roop, and I'm clicking on Swayam Roop.
Okay, now we can see it.
Okay, wonderful. So this is one of the charts I sent you today. So when we say the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are dealing with the transcendental autocrats, Swayam Roop, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Satyam Param Dimahi. This is the one. There is nothing higher than this. Is Savakarana Karanam. Anadim. He has no beginning. He's the fountainhead. He knows everything. He's Savagya, Sava Shakti. He's got all the Shakti, everything. He knows all the Jivas, all the Vishnu Tattva, all the Shakti Tattva. Everyone that come before him bows down. Even Lord Narayan, even Lord Nishimele bows down. Is the Supreme Personality. So now, if we break it down, Swayam Prakash, Swayam means is his own creation. You say, it's my own house. Swayam, that's what it means, your own. That is, from here down below, that is the breakdown of his expansions. Prabhav Prakash, okay? So, for instance, when Krishna dances in the rasa dance, that is himself, in the sense, is non-different. The Krishna that dances with all the gopis is the same as Swayambhu. It's called Prabhav Prakash. It's got the same features. Now, another side of Krishna is Vibhav Prakash. His forms differ slightly, like, for instance, Lord Balaram is the first Vibhav Prakash. Lord Balaram is non-different from Krishna except for his color, his off-white. And again, down below, you can see the arrows, it's well done. From the Prabhav Prakash, you find the Vasudev. When we say in the Bhagavad Gita, this is Krishna, of course, but to be precise, is Vasudev Krishna. Okay? And here we go on the right. This Vibhav Prakash, this is Krishna appearing in the prison house as technically Vasudev Krishna, the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Now, when it comes to the incarnations, all the incarnations come down from Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram is the supreme personality of Servitor Godhead, and is technically called Vibhav Prakash. Why? Because his form differs. He's got a different bhav. He's into, you have seen, Vatsalya. He has his Daoji, the big brother. He protects, so he has a different bhav. And then from him down below, it breaks down further and further. They're all personality of Goddess. Be careful, they're not jivas. Jivas are way down the chart. We are dealing with God here. Anantarup, Advaitam, Achutam, Manadim, Anantarupam. They are all Advaita, non-dual. They are all Advaita, Achut, infallible. Advaita, Achutam. Anadim, they have no beginning. You cannot say, well, there's a beginning. No. It's a foolish statement. Anantarup, you cannot count. 5 billion, 35 billion, you still can count. It's unknown. Then,
I have one question.
yes, Prabhu.
And one question. You mentioned on the left side from Prabha Prakash, we have Vasudev Krishna, who gives Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna.
Yes.
And on the right side, you mentioned from Vaibhav Prakash, we have again Vasudev in Kamsa prison's house, taking birth from Devati. So, you mean
it's why is it
Vasudev?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Is it that because the Lord appeared as the son of Vasudev, then he is called Vasudev? Or so how we can have two Vasudev, one from Vaibhav Prakash and one from...
That's a very good question. Because this Vasudev appears in Chaturbhuj. See? So in that sense, you never see Krishna here on the battlefield in Chaturbhuj. You don't see. So in that sense, it's probable because he abhors 4 arms, then it's called Vibhav. But basically, it's a see the difference between Prabhav and Vibhav. Prabhav, there is no difference with the forms at all. It's like duplicate, copy. How do you say? Copy and paste. You know. But Vibhav, the mood may differ and the forms may differ. And we know very well that this original form of Godhead that appears in front of Devaki and Vasudeva originally was Chaturbhuj, as you know, and then it took the form of a small baby. So now, why Vasudeva, the father, has the same name as his son? That is your question. Is that your question?
No, this was my answer because of the father has named Vasudev. That's why Krishna is being called Vasudev.
Yeah, there's a verse, 4:3:13. Sadvam Vishudam Vasudev Shabditan Yadiyate Tatrapupan Papavritaha. This is Lord Shiv to Durga. He's telling her, my dear Devi, Sadvam Vishudev Vasudev Shabdita. My consciousness is always on the level of Vasudev. Vasudev consciousness. Vasudev consciousness means pure Krishna consciousness. So Lord Shiva is telling his wife, I'm always in pure transcendental Krishna consciousness, Vasudev consciousness. And for me, the Lord is apavritaha. It's always, I can see the Lord. It's not hidden, it's revealed to me all the time because my consciousness is Vasudev. So the father of Krishna is so Krishna conscious that is called Vasudev. This is his level of consciousness, Vasudev consciousness, which is the topmost Krishna consciousness. So now back to Tat Ekat Marup. Now it's breaking down from Lord Balaram. Again, different forms, transcendental emotions are different. And now we're dealing with Vilas, Vilas expansion. And now we're dealing with Adisha to Vyuha. Remember? When Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but at which place in Vrindavan does the Lord separate the separation? In the Krishna book, remember? There's a specific gap. Akrura Ghat. Yeah, when Akrura takes Lord Krishna Balaram to Mathura to fight in the arena, this is the separation. So that Vilas, that Krishna that carries on going to Akrura with Akrura to Mathura, this is technically Vasudeva Krishna. And the Balaram that carries on with Akrura in the chariot, this is basically Sankarshan. It's Balaram, but it's already a Vilas expansion. Or Prabha Vilas, basically. Which is called the Adisha to Vyuha. Adi means first. So now, when this Vasudev, we know at one point he's going to go to Dwarka. Remember, he's going to spend 96 years in Dwarka. So he's going to have a son with, what is his first wife? Who is his first wife?
Rukmini.
Yes. So the first son of Vasudev with Rukmini is Pradyumna, and Pradyumna is going to have a child in due course of time. He's going to marry, and his son is
Anirudh.
Anirudh.
very good. So now you understand. This is called the Mul Chaturvyuha, the Adi Chaturvyuha. Everything comes from this, this quadruple form. And now we're moving down. We're breaking it down further. From this Sankarshan, which is originally, Lord Balaram, Vibhav Vilas. Now we're getting closer. Lord Narayan, as we know, we're entering Vaikunt. Now we have left Dwarka. We're entering Vaikunt, Lord Narayan. So there's unlimited Vaikuntha Lok, and surrendering each form of Lord Narayan, you find what we call Dvitiya Chaturvyu. Dvitiya means second. The second set of Chaturvyu. And again, same nomenclature, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Nirud. There's a mistake here, there's no H. And you will find, say, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now within each Vaikuntha Lok is ruled by a particular form of Narayan. This is Keshav, Narayan, Madhav, Govind, etc. These are different forms of Lord Narayan, and each form of Lord Narayan is surrounded by the Dvitiya Chaturvyuha. Okay? Now,
But Prabhu,
yes,
Prabhu, one question. Why Lord Narayan is called Govinda? Because we said Govinda is Krishna giving pleasure to the cows. So,
yeah, because see, there's no, see, all these features of the Lord, they meditate on the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, And so, in other words, what to speak of us, we are not so Krishna conscious. What to speak of them? They meditate on Krishna. Even Vishnu Tattva form meditate on Krishna. So no wonder they're going to have names of the original Lord. We have primary names of the Lord and secondary names. For instance, Vishnu is a secondary name. It's not a primary name. Why is Govind a primary name?
because it shows the direct pastime of Krishna.
Yes, exactly. Whereas secondary names deal with the attributes. Vishnu means Chayantara, Paramanu, Chayantara, Stam, is omnipresent. So that's great, he's God, but that is an attribute of God. So it's considered a secondary name. So anyway, just try to remember, Lord Narayan is surrounded by a set of Chaturvyuha, and each Vaikuntha Lok is presided by a particular Narayan with a particular name. Now, from this second Shankarshan, sometimes it's called Maha Shankarshan, we find the sponge. There's a mistake here, there's no A. So now we're getting down to our lesson 131 up to 5, dealing with the Purush avatar. Krishna says, Sutta Goswami 131, Jagrihe Purusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahadivihi. See, he's Bhagavan. This Mahavishnu is Bhagavan. He's not a Jiv, he's Vishnu. He's a sponge. It's a personal expansion. So, we are dealing with 131 here, Kalanodakashai Vishnu, and the Paramatma of the totality of material creation. This is the Vishnu, the original Vishnu. And we are learning in 131 that he expands. Remember date, that's a key verb, 1 to 23. The Lord accepts to play the part of Mahavishnu and is going to expand in the Virat Rupa, in the form of the universal form of the Purush. And then look at 131, Sodashakalam, with the 16 Soda. Sodash means 16 ingredients. So we discussed the other day what are the 16 ingredients. Please look it up again if you are lost. 131. And then starting from 132, what happened in 132? Already there's a breakdown here. There's an expansion of this Vishnu that became Garbo. Garbo means the womb. So it means that Vishnu enters within the womb of each universe. So he becomes, is the Paramatma also from of each, is the total Paramatma of each universe. You follow 132, and we are, Sutta is telling us there's a lotus stem that sprouts from the navel. Within the lake of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, there's a lake, there is a navel surrounded by water. And from that stem that grows up, upwards, Lord Brahma will appear. So this is from this Vishnu.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Yes.
I just want to ask you, so Karana Daksha Yasi Vishnu is in the spiritual plane. He does not enter into the material. It's only Gabor Daksha Yasi Vishnu that enters into the womb.
Well, not really. Even the Mahavishnu is connected. I mean, he's the one who glances on Pradhan. Remember?
Yes.
I remember. So he has a remote connection with Pradhan. Pradhan means the material energy. And of course, we discussed many times, you were not there, I understand. Within the glands that he casts upon Pradhan, what are the constituents of the glands? Someone remembers?
It's A, Ether.
It's Lord Shiva, in form of Lord Shiva thing.
Yeah. So in other words, within the glands, there is the Chitkana. Remember, we have been lying dormant. We were avyakta, unmanifested, for we cannot count, billions, eons of times. It's beyond human calculation. Most of the time, we have to remember, most of the time, the jivs are within the abdomen. Don't think it's 50-50. Don't think we are 50% non-manifested and 50% manifested. No. You have to understand the creation is one nimesh. If you follow, it's written in, I think in 1-3. Where is it written? There's a term also coming up. I'll find it here. Anyway, it's one nimesh. So the creation, the whole spectrum of the creation is 3/8 of a second on the level of Mahavishnu. So it's a rare opportunity. Now we are manifested. We have been cast in the glance of Mahavishnu, in the womb of material nature, Pradhan. So there is one, this is the first component. Second component, the Svabhav of the jiva is following him. Remember, we are still rebellious to Krishna. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the womb. As simple as that. If you're still in the womb of Mahavishnu, I mean in the abdomen of Mahavishnu, if you're still being cast in that womb of material nature, it means you're still rebellious. So, number two, Swabab. And one number three, which is the most important item, what is there in the glands? The color sarpa, the time, the material time, we could say. Time is like the energy of the universe. If you have a car but no engine, you cannot move your car. So what is the engine of the universe? The time factor. So in the same way, we are cast within the glands. So yes, Mataji, you can say, well, he has contact, but he has no contact. What is within this halo? This glands is called the halo. Hello, hello, I don't know how you say. It's Shambhu, Lord Shambhu. Who is Shambhu?
Lord Shiva.
Yes. So in other words, the connecting agent between Mahavishnu and Durga, Pradhan is Durga, is Lord Shiva. That is why Lord Shiva, we say, is a transformation of Lord Vishnu. The example is given of the doodh and the milk turned into yogurt. So in one sense, you're right, Mataji, he has no contact, but it contacts the material energy via the husband of the material energy. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu, 100%. Yes,
Okay,
thank
good.
you.
Now, number two, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, it's well explained in 132 and 133. All these are recaps. I'm just doing it for you because you just came. So, Brahma is appearing on 132, and then the Virat. And the Virat, remember, what is the Virat? We say Virat Purush, Virat Rup. What is it in plain and simple terms?
The universal form.
Yes. So it's quite clear in 133. It's an expansion of Paramatma. Remember, it's a tricky subject. Don't think it's a material form. Huh? If you look at the Gita, when Krishna reveals his universal form to Arjuna, 1147, what does it say? Krishna to Arjuna, I'm showing you, my dear Arjuna, my universal form by dint of my internal energy. So they never belittle the Virat, thinking, oh, it's just for the foolish persons. It has its function, and it's coming from the internal energy of the Lord. 1147. Look it up. So, in other words, the Virat is display, the display of the full regalia of the material energy. And the full display of material energy is there in the Virat. Prabhupada sometimes calls it the godless form of God. It's a bit heavy. The godless aspect of God. Why? Because oftentimes it's a fact, those who keep an interest in the Virat tends to be godless in the sense they cannot acknowledge the transcendental feature of God, of Krishna. They cannot, no, I cannot accept Krishna as a small boy running bare feet, eating with his left hand. Come on, I don't accept. I'm more in favor of accepting that, yes, this full display of material creation, this is God. So that is why Prabhupada used to say godless display. But at the same time, it has its function. But remember, even though he has created the 16 elements, he has nothing to do with these elements. You follow? Just like if you are building a house, you're not going to build the house yourself. You're going to hire an architect. You're not doing it yourself. You're passing a contract with an architect. And what is the first job of the architect? He has been hired by you. What is he going to do? Is he going to tell his masons and please start working? No.
Now make a blueprint.
Exactly. Excellent. He needs a design. From the design, the other guys will come, the mason, the electricians, the guys doing the pipes, plumber and all. That come later. So, in other words, the architect, these are the Purushavata. Okay? And what do they need? They need a blueprint. The blueprint is the Virat. So, but we cannot, the client, the one who pays everything, has nothing to do with the blueprint. You follow? It has nothing to do with the elements of the creation, the 16 elements. So that is why it's mentioned in 133. It has nothing to do with the created material intelligence. Krishna is playing, Krishna is reveling in pastimes of love in Golok Vrindavan. But 1 to 23, Date, he accepts to play the role of the Lila avatar, the role of the Purush avatar, the roles of the Guna avatars. Okay. Is it clear? And
Yes.
then 134 we discussed, just like the 11th chapter of the Gita. This is a description of the Virat here, basically. Thousands of legs, thighs, faces, helmets everywhere. So the Virat, remember, is an expansion of Paramatma. When we say expansion of Paramatma, we mean the Garbhodakashaya Paramatma. So now it's a tricky question for you. Is there one Virat or many Virats?
One Virat.
So please explain. Is there one Virat per universe or one Virat for the whole material creation? Oftentimes devotees struggle with that.
It's one Virat per universe.
Oh, good. Yeah, very good. And then we didn't discuss about the third Vishnu. It doesn't appear here. All the verses up to 5 are dealing with Garbo. The third Vishnu we know, Paramatma. What is the verse in the Gita? Give me a verse corroborating the job of Paramatma, Antaryami, the Lord in the heart. For instance, 1861, Ishvara Savabhutanam, Videdesh Nashintishtati, Brahmayam Savabhutani, Yantra Rudani, Maya. Krishna tells, I accompany the wanderings of each jiv. This is Antaryami. And I died.
He also, Prabhu,
1861. I accompany. We are wandering, roaming the land like a zombie, and we are accompanied by Paramatma. It directs our wanderings, situated as if we are situated on yantra. Yantra Rudani Mayaya. Yantra means machine. This is the body. Body is a machine. And we are foolishly, aimlessly wandering, pulled by the modes. So lucky we have Paramatma. Otherwise, we don't even know next day what we have to do. Oh yes, I've got an appointment at 11. Who's reminding us? You may say, well, I've got a diary. I put it down in my diary. But ultimately, it's Paramatma. So now let's break it down. And now we're going to be dealing in the third chapter. We are here now. All the different avatars, there's 6 types of avatars. So now we're entering from 1 through 6. We're going to discuss the Lila avatar. Not all. You cannot count. Anantarup. But 22 will be given by Sutta. They fall under here. Remember, it was a question of the sages. Sutta is very scrupulously answering the questions. So now he's going to go into that.